I assumed after they came up with the cure, with getting shots, everybody was dying, that everything go back to normal, but it didn't. Everything's kind of changed now. And
Absolutely.
politics, we got a new president in office. People were getting fired everywhere in the government. What was the longest shutdown in government history? I mean, people are working for free. My son's a pilot, and he flies a big 320. It's the big jumbo. And I ask him what's going on. He goes, "It's pretty crazy when you only have two flight controllers and you're supposed to have four. Well, something's going to happen. There's going to be an accident." And he said, "Yeah, it's pretty crazy out here."
It's
Uh,
that's does your son work for a major airline?
yeah, he's a pilot.
Oh, so is he
He,
for
he,
uh,
United,
United? Wow, wow. So
big
it's
airline.
that's a big one. So it's scary.
Oh, he tells me these stories. He'll have close call. He said, "Dad, whatever they're telling you on the news, they're lying. Near miss, near miss." He goes, "That's happening like every couple of hours." And I said, "Whoa." So he likes flying like from LA to China or LA to Sydney, Australia, 17 hours, because you're up higher and you got more way to get out of someone's way. He goes, "But the airports are crazy, man. The flights are canceled. Then people," he says, "get on board. They're all pissed off. They've been sitting in an airport for 6 hours." He said, it's not fun up there,
It,
but that's his job, and he has to deal with it. And he says sometimes somebody will tell him to do something and somebody forgets because there's nobody at the station, the flight control tower. They're out taking a leak or something, and that's screwed up. And that's the government's fault. The government's the one that's not paying them. And you have to laugh. The TSA is not getting paid. The flight controllers aren't getting paid, but the government's paying themselves still. They're not. They're not. They're getting paid. I'm like, wait a minute. So Congress and the Senate are getting paid, but things that are more important, I would think, like crashing two planes into each other at 40,000 feet, that should be more of a priority when you think. You look at JFK and Newark and LAX. I mean, there's thousands of planes nonstop landing and taking off. It's just going to take one little screw up for something to happen. And the stress on those flight control tower people, the stress on them is heavy. All of a sudden, they're not coming to work. They're not coming to work now because they weren't getting paid. And people have bills, people have families. We need people like that are important. The police department need to get paid. And then you find out that the government's paying themselves though every week. So
it's
it's like practical.
so so you being a touring musician and you do a lot of weekend warrior stuff and you're flying
Yeah.
in and out. How do you feel when you're entering on a plane? What goes through your mind?
I'm just looking out the window usually and going, well, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I don't worry too much about it. But now that we're doing this weekend warrior stuff and not using a tour bus, yeah, it's a little. I've been stuck on this tarmac for 5 hours. Pull away
Right?
from the gate, get out in the runway. We are the 20th plane in line. There's just a line of planes trying to take off, and I'm like, holy shit. Yeah, it's not real comforting. George Lynch has been coming out and playing with us with Lynch Mob and warming
Mhm.
up for us. And then he comes on stage with me, and then we play a couple songs together. And he's driving to a lot of the gigs. And I said, "Dude, what do you mean you're driving? You got to. That's 8 hour drive." And he goes, "I'm not getting on no small plane." He won't. And I tried to tell him, "You should talk to my son," because Todd is a pilot, and explain to him that it's safer than driving. But George has a big thing about flying too.
Really?
So everybody's got yeah, he drives. And I'm like, that's a lot of driving, man, when you can hop on a plane for 1 hour and be there. And instead, you're on a van,
Yeah.
and you're driving for 8 hours. And then you get there and you're beat up and you're worn out and you're tired. And it's a crazy world, man. It's just a crazy world.
catch all our episodes in our Patreon or in members only unedited. In the meantime, subscribe and click here on your screen for our next episode.